The producers are, we're back. We're back with a special guest, and I'm gonna say this correctly, Darrius.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So if you see him out and about, it's Darrius Johnson, CEO, founder of Visionary X, entrepreneur, creative director, event planner. This dude wears a number of hats, man. So without further ado, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you pulling up on us.
Thank you for having me.
George. So yeah, what's going on? What's going on with you, George? I haven't talked
what up,
to
Georgie?
you
I
and
I know
connect
we
with you
haven't been
for a
up
while,
in a minute,
man.
yo.
What's going
since
on,
our
man?
last episode. Nothing. Just keeping busy with Focus Springfield.
Yeah.
This is our second season. You know, congratulations to
Yes, sir.
us.
Yes, sir.
We did a full year. You know, clap it up. I'll put in some claps later.
What's going on? What else you up to? What else you up
else?
to? You busy? I see your content.
I know.
Your
I'm
content
trying,
is
I'm
slow.
trying.
Yo, your content is like every week, every month. I feel like it's getting better.
He tried to be low with it,
Yeah.
but that's old content. He tried to act slick. That's content he had holding on for years. He just finally putting it
Oh,
out.
absolutely. That's how you know you're a good videographer. If you hold on to content and just put it out whenever.
Anything
yeah,
is new.
Absolutely.
For sure, for
and it
sure.
looks new too, because like nobody's seen it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, just basically trying to get like Darrius, you know.
Nah.
Nah, get
that's
like Georgie.
Bro, no, nah. But I see you everywhere, bro. Like I've tapped into the social media, but just every time I look at something, I'll see it and it'll be like tagged Darrius. I'm like, oh, okay, it's him again. You know what I mean? He's here. But
Word.
I guess, what are you excited about? Talk to us about what you're excited about, what you got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, I'm excited about a few things.
Yeah.
Because the two main things I got, I was talking to you earlier about the deluxe event I got going on,
sure,
the dinner party,
yeah.
the tour coming from Springfield to Boston. We got New Year Better Us, the networking event and scholarship fundraiser that we
Yeah.
got happening in January.
Dope.
They got the film, the series that we dropping with Policy, Stephen Rashawn, and it's called Divided Loyalty.
Divided Loyalty.
Yeah,
yep.
Divided. Yeah, so we're gonna be releasing that. It should be released this month. They got a whole 12-week process, but we've been in the middle of it for a while now, so it should be dropping like hopefully within the next couple of weeks.
And that's gonna drop on Tubi, right?
Tubi, Amazon Prime,
Shout
Apple
out to
TV.
Tubi, man.
Man,
Tubi's
Shout
lit.
out to Tubi, yo.
I'm gonna do a little Deion Sanders. I'm gonna be like, yo, Tubi, I need a deal.
But they
I
do.
need a 6 deal. Yo, word to me.
in fact,
So just quickly, Lo, on Tubi,
Yeah.
how does that work? So you just post it, and do you get anything from it, or?
I gotta talk to my partner exactly about the logistics, but
Yeah.
I know there's definitely a process just to even get on there.
Oh,
So
really?
there's only two ways to get on Tubi. It's either you do it on Film Hub, if I'm not mistaken, or having a direct source through Tubi.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because they do a quality check, they do the approval through the board, then there's a licensing, and then it gets released. So there's a whole forward-way process.
I want to know who's in that quality.
The quality check.
Because some of them Tubi movies,
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah,
Yo,
there's really. I think it's just more of like you can get away with
yeah.
you can get away with a bad film if it meets the export qualifications.
Okay,
So if
okay,
it's meeting the 4K or if it's meeting the same
Got you.
measurements and ratios,
Okay.
you can get away with it.
Not quality check in terms of like storyline and.
Oh
Like,
no! Quality checking just like does
I
it-
watched couple Tubi movies, and I'm
Nah.
like, yo, nobody.
Not
checked
that
this.
quality. Not that type of quality.
I was about
Concept
to say,
quality, no.
yeah.
Word.
But they're like, as long as the video quality is enough, then we'll
Nah, that
release
makes
it.
sense. That makes
Sound
sense.
quality be all off. Like,
Completely
yo.
off. You know,
Nah,
man.
that's cool, man. So, about how you got into, I guess, videography and
Yeah.
directing, photography, because I saw something that you and your brother kind of started it, right?
Yeah.
So before that, did you have any creative outlet? Like, what were your creative outlets growing up?
So my main outlet was drawing.
Oh,
So
okay.
my first passion I ever did was sketch art. So like from kindergarten on to like middle school, I was just drawing everything. I had sketchbooks, booklets, binders.
That's crazy.
Like my mom was always, she saw me drawing, and every single year I remember getting like a paint kit. Those ones with like the paintbrushes, the watercolor, and the crayons and the markers. I used to get that almost every single year, but because I was always drawing.
Yeah.
And then my dad put a camera in my hand. My mom, she used to always take pictures.
How
Like,
old were you at this point when you first camera in your hands?
Camera, I would say, I remember it was a gray camcorder. I might have been before adolescence, so maybe like around that time, because my dad was still out. So yeah, I was probably like 8, 9, around the time when he put it in my hand.
Wow.
And then later on, because me and my brother, we do music.
Yeah.
So my uncle, he does beats, production, and all that. And my brother started really getting passionate into the rap, but I was behind the scenes, so I was doing either the engineering, the producing, and my brother's mentor, Los, he was from around Sycamore, and he was like, yo, you got to build a brand. He was like, yo, you out here doing all this work, you got to make a brand. So my brother Doe came to me.
Timeline, how old were you at this point?
So this was 2010 or 11. So I was 15, 16 around that time.
Game too. Okay.
Yeah, so he came to me. He was like, yo, we got to come up with a name. We just shot his first music video. Got to get ready to upload to YouTube, but YouTube, you need a channel name. And I was like, dang, I don't got a name. So I'm sitting there, I'm doing like self-analyzing about my life. I'm going through people's YouTube pages and their names, and I finally came up with Visionary X. And I was like, yo, Visionary X, I think this is it. Type the name, upload the video, and the rest is history. And it just started as just music and video, like the graphics and the photos and the event planning. None of that was a thing. Because I just made a business off of what we were doing. It's like I had the camera, my brother's doing the music, we just gonna make it together. But my boy Bernard, he was getting into photography, and we danced together. So it's like I'm watching him get into something that I thought was super expensive. But I'm like, all right, well, if he can do it on a budget, then why can't I? So I started asking him for mentor help, and he was like, well, I need to learn video, so we can just kind of like trade services. Like, you teach me what you know, and I'll teach you what I know. That's crazy. And I went to school for it. He told me to go to school, and then he said, yo, if you do it, make sure you take a graphic designs course, because you're going to need to learn how to edit the photos. I was like, okay, cool. And then I started getting the graphics. I'm like, well, graphics is just a digital version of what I used to do as a kid, draw. So I'm like, this should be a piece of cake. And it was a piece of cake. And then I just picked it up. Picked it up, started learning the skills, shortcuts, and then just started applying it to everything. And then I started realizing that, I'm like, wait, I'm like, the photography, the video, the music, and the graphics, I'm like, they all kind of go together. So I just started adding implements. I'm like, the graphics go with the photos. The graphics can go with the photos and the video. The video can go with audio and photos and graphics, because you got the titles, you got images that you want to add to it. If it's like a throwback or a documentary, you got the storyline. So you got the music that you're putting in the background. Either you got to create the music, I can produce the song, I can get someone to produce it, the storytelling, directing aspect of it. So just started building it all together. And then the apparel. So the apparel is what I used to help promote the business. So I wasn't trying to do like no crazy like designs, whatever. It was nice, but I just want people to ask
like
questions.
Marketing. It's like kind of like a marketing.
Walking billboards. I want people to ask questions like what it is, and then if I can make a dope design and make you ask even further, even better. I just want people to come back and ask questions of what the business was.
Do you think Drake's gonna come after you like for OVO?
Nah, because I'd had that before. Yeah, bro. When I tell you,
what you mean? I need the backstory. So, what's going on right now?
So I begin. So with my logo, I begin flack with it being mixed up with OVO, because my logo's an owl, but they see.
I was about to say
my logo's an owl, but but I had my business since like 2011. So it started January 2011. I made my logo, I think, that same year. OVO didn't come out till I think it was October 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm like, I already had myself.
How the courts is seeing it, yo.
Well, they need to look at their research.
You added to the 3 pages now.
Yeah.
You ever think of changing it because of that? Like,
no.
No, I've been there where it's like I had an idea, somebody ran with it, and it's like I can't do it. I want to still do it, but I can't do it
because someone ran with it.
Because somebody already ran with it. Do you never have those thoughts like, all right, let me just rebrand real quick?
I think in my mind, because of what I was doing, I think in my mind I was like, well, if I keep, I wasn't even thinking about it in just the Drake aspect, because I'm like, bro, I had it before him, so I don't even care. Like, I really don't. And then I didn't feel like I was going to lose anything because I had so much of a momentum of work.
Got you.
And because even at that time, I'll be real, like I didn't have my business secured at all. I didn't have my LLC until 7 years after I started my business.
Right.
So throughout the entire time, I'm thinking, well, shoot, if I'm just always working, nobody can tell me this isn't my work, because I'm consistently do it. I have all the working files. I'm doing it now. And I've been doing it for like almost 7 years at that point, like 7 years now. So what am I worried about? But the only time I got scared, which is what made me get my LLC, was that my mentor in videography, he had a company and he kind of like slacked off on it, but it was his. He put work in the beginning, but
he had a copyright, everything like that.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure about the copyright. I don't know if he got a copyright.
Gotcha.
Because another company came by, a radio station local, and had the same name. And when he tried to like fight against it, he was like, well, I can't really do too much because they took the name. I'm not doing anything with it. I didn't have it copywritten, so the name just got stolen pretty much. So,
bro, it's crazy because when I started City of Guards. I started City of Guards in 20. I don't know when I started it, but maybe like it was for Springfield. I was doing the one-on-one tournaments and all that, giving back scholarships. So I started City of Guards. Then 2 years later, it's this kid out in New York. He started City of Guards, but he got it from me because I was putting it out there, and we had a viral clip of when Taylon dunked on somebody. It went viral, and I had City of Guards tagged all over it. So it went viral. Then I saw him, City of Guards. So then I called up his dad, like, yo, what's up, man? Because this kid was like from New York City. Nah, seriously. The kid was from New York City, and he was like blowing up. So I'm like, hold up. I got City of Guards. Like, that's my name. He can't run with it. So the dad's like, I'm like, yo, if anything, I'll sell it to you. Because I did the LLC. I did the copyright. I copyright the name. Whenever I do anything, I just do the whole process. Yeah. So then the dad's like, yeah, man, we didn't know you had this, but, you know, we're not big. We're not big. 4 years later, this kid's like top recruit. And still right now, to this day, a top recruit.
That's crazy.
But he ended up changing his name to Magic Mel.
Okay.
And it switched from City of Guards. But I'm like talking to the dad, like, yo, I'll let you license the name, like, but that's how business is done.
Right.
But I couldn't really do nothing because it was like, all right, I'm gonna sue this dude and his kid. Like, I can't sue that kid.
Right,
like,
right.
You know what I mean? But
if there's pushback,
the importance of like copyrighting your name and your ideas, and it's important, bro.
Yeah, intellectual property is everything.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so I learned a lot about you in this quick time. Rapper, producer, dancer. I heard.
Yep, definitely dancer. Yep, crump.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And all that came from when I started doing that in 8th grade. So I used to go to MLK a lot. I was a community kid. Center
same
boy.
here. I went to Dunbar.
Yeah, so I didn't go to Dunbar, but I was at the Boys and Girls Club on Carew, Acorn, and then the MLK.
Yeah.
But at the MLK, once I started going there for after school program, they had a crump program, and come to like one of my
remember that,
right. And so one of my boys actually was going to school with, or actually no. Funny enough, it's probably like a side story, but so my boy, I was dating this girl in middle school. Like, she was a new girl, came by, we dated for like a month or whatever. Yeah. And ended it. I ended up going to the MLK, and then the man that she used to be with was the crumper. So he already knew who I was before I even got there on type vibes. But I'm over. But I'm just like, I just doing my thing, chilling. But he ended up like, oh, he actually cool. He alright.
Oh, okay.
And then so now, but to this, like, now we best friends to this day.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So it was just like we grew. Like, I became his little homie. I was like twinning the crump and all that. But it's like that whole era was just like, it's different. Like, even to this day, it's just like its own underground.
I thought it was gonna be a different story. I thought it was gonna be y'all two like crumped off.
Nah. It was gonna be crump off. Nah. We was cool. It was cool. I ended up being his little homie. So it's like,
that's even better. That's a better.
12-years having a crump off
For the middle of the gym,
bro,
for the chick.
Yes, bro. It would be sweaty. When I tell you it was sweaty back there, it was
bro,
sweaty.
I seen it, bro. I seen the crump. That's dope.
I was surprised girls was back there. I'm like, y'all don't smell this? It's wild, but it was dope. It's definitely a good community to be part of.
All right, so like now, with what you do, like, how solidified are you in what you're doing now, in terms of like where you see it going? Like, where are you at with it, mindset wise? Like,
so I'm at a point where I'm trying to scale because I've realized that, like, I've done a lot of ideas. I've figured out what works, or what can be scalable. Yep. Like, you know, I started doing events. Okay, I've done enough within the past 5 years to where I can see what's working, who wants to do what, who brings to the networking element, who brings more to the party, who's here for game nights. Yep. But I'm just like, I want to scale. I'm just like, I want more people. I want more, like, opportunities or things to happen that's around me, rather than just, I feel like every single time it's like I have to create something, or something has to be created by like a creative or anybody in the city for it to pop, if that makes sense. Because I feel like the city's it's more creatives than consumers. Right. If you go to LA, if you go to New York, there's a lot of, it's a tourist area, so there's a lot of consumers who just want something to do. Like, you can have someone walking down the street just to come in and be like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I'll pay. Here you go, whatever. Have a good time. I'm with my lady for the town. I'm leaving tomorrow. Right. There's not a lot of that here, unless like main events like basketball, hoop hall, or the induction, or when a celebrity comes out. Like, those are usually the times when outsiders usually come, or the Thunder's game. Yeah. On Fridays. Like, I feel like those are the most times where people come out to the city as consumers who are on the outside to just be a part of whatever's happening.
Right.
But
Do you feel Springfield is big enough for your visions?
alone, no.
Okay.
I don't think it is because of. I wouldn't even necessarily say it's the support because I do get support from the city.
Right.
But I just think that there's. I feel like my visions like need to be seen by more people. That's why I'm doing this trip from
Yeah.
Springfield to Boston because it's
Right.
like a plethora of people out there that I'm meeting
Right.
who are like-minded, who are well more connected than anybody who's in Springfield. But I don't blame the people of Springfield.
Right.
But honestly, be real, like I blame the government
Right.
because we've had one government in so long where I felt like we didn't necessarily get the things that we needed for the city to progress or scale wasn't necessarily focused on. I
Right.
feel like the things that the city wanted to focus on, they focused on that, but it wasn't necessarily for the people, it was for the government in a sense. Whether
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we just bought this property, but we're not doing anything with it because for tax purposes, or oh, we just got this grant and it's going into a friend of mine's pocket of the government rather than someone who's been working in the city as
Someone
a
who's
creative.
gonna really hustle it
And
and make it
and
do
a
something.
true impact
Yeah.
in the city. But it's like,
Right.
no, we're going to give money to this restaurant because I know him. So we're going to give him $50,000 to act like he had an outdoor or whatever.
Right.
But I feel like the government is what makes the difference in the city. Because I'll go to, because I was a part of like this it was a Western Mass economic summit. And like all of the government from the city was there. There was like the mayor from Northampton. There was the mayor from East Hampton. There was the mayor from Fitchburg.
What was they meeting for? What was
It was just, they literally were all meeting just to figure like what can we do as a community or as a state to uplift our own cities. Like Northampton trying to figure out like what can we do for creatives or murals or
Right.
entrepreneurs or art projects or, you know, like they're literally sitting there trying to figure out like how can we build our communities in an artistic, creative way so it's not just so like linear or like, you know, school to pipeline type vibes. And if you go to Northampton, you can see it. They really, she said it. She was like, yeah, we really focus, and they're all women.
Right.
Just all women, just like empowered. Just like, yeah, we really focus on the downtown area to make sure that people can enjoy themselves. You go to Northampton, you can walk the whole strip, piece by piece, store by storefront. You can find something to do.
Yeah, when I was fresh out of college, I remember Northampton was the spot where you could find a random concert of
Exactly.
somebody that, you know, you listened to, and it wasn't big name, but it was
Yeah.
somebody that they were bringing
Exactly.
in open arms to. You know what I'm
Right, but
saying?
you can just walk down the street and see it. I remember one time I was in Northampton just trying to find a spot to eat, and there's a dude in there just doing a guitar on the mic, just singing.
yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm singing with him. Like, I'm not going to see that downtown.
Nah, you're not gonna see
but
that. I always say, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah, go ahead.
I say like the bigger cities, there's more of your, there's more chances of you running into somebody who has your same vision and same ideas. So like, say your hobby is flipping coins. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find enough people within a bigger city that just loves flipping coins. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So it's like I like the fact that you're branching out and going to Boston and bringing people from here to there to build those networks.
Yeah.
That's integral, bro, in terms of like the community and what you're doing, like
Yeah.
the networking and everything. So that's to be commended, bro, because
Yeah,
that's major. And that's what I see when I went to New York City and I was coaching there, where it was, you can find whatever you're into, you can find it
Right. There's
there
a community
in
there somewhere.
a big, and way bigger numbers and way more support to kind of get it, and then tying it back to Springfield.
Exactly.
And that's something that I feel like you do.
Yeah.
I try to do, and there's a lot of people that I see in the community now that are trying to do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because I feel like tying it back to Springfield is always, it gives hope, one, for the next generation.
Yeah.
But it's also extending what we have for people to see. Like if we go to New York and nobody's ever been to Springfield or know like what we can do,
Right.
whether you come with the Bitcoin Classic, you go to New York,
Right.
you're like, yo, what's this is what you got going on? Where you from? And it's like, oh, I'm
Exactly.
from Springfield.
Yep.
It's like, damn, it's like, y'all not doing this out there? Like, what? But it shows that it was like, yo,
That's a question you always get too.
that's 100%.
for real. He's like, you don't do that back home, but there's some things that we just can't, and that's
Can't.
okay,
Right.
Because it's not going to be received the way that we want to, or
Right.
you know, because whether it's people being cliquey, or someone's having an issue, or people
Right.
taking things too personal because it's a small city.
Yeah.
Like people from New York, you can come from like the Bronx, Harlem, whatever, in different boroughs,
Right.
come to one spot for the same mission because it's the community out there. Like if something's happening,
Yeah.
it seems like in certain areas, whenever there's an event, because of like how the community is built, it's like everybody is involved. It's like one event's happening, you're gonna see at least pieces of everybody from different areas of that state or city coming along to it. But based off of what you were saying, like there's a lot more people that you can relate to in what you want to do with your life.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
yeah, but I'm always gonna tie back to Springfield because it may be after I'm alive, you know, if it is, but I want Springfield to come to a point where it's like it's the next Boston, it's the next New York or Harlem or Manhattan or Houston, even if it's a small, because there's other small cities that are popping, but it's all in how you curate in the city.
Yeah, and I can see I can see Springfield becoming like a smaller version of Boston. Like that's what I thought. Like when I went to college out in Boston, I was living out there for a little while. I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to stay out here because like this is amazing. And I'm like, oh nah, let me go back to Springfield and bring some of the resources I brought back. But
It's not received.
it's not.
It's not.
Like this. Like I'm glad I got this position right here because like this is the only thing that like I can do consistently that like I control.
Yeah.
Right.
And you actually
in a
like
sense,
it.
though. Yeah.
Right. That's one
No,
thing.
I think, I mean, even if like like you said, the government, like just talk to MGM. Just let a couple of young, hungry people with visions and idea. Don't charge us. You know what I'm saying? $6,000, $10,000 to get the venue. You know what I'm saying? Let us build something, and then kind of see. All right, yo, we'll get you on the back end.
Exactly.
I think there should be more of that within the city.
Yeah.
Because you know.
Especially a lot of stakeholders, honestly. Like people who like hold a lot of funds in the city should, like I should see their names everywhere, and not only in like pockets of certain things that only the top organizers in the city are putting along for their people.
Right.
It's like we got 10 sponsors like MGM, Mass Mutual, but it's for like a conference that they only have access to. It's like, well, you didn't even send us an invite. There's not no public information on it.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing? But it's just like, if I start seeing the names, like, well, I will say MGM, they did support our business, NYBU. So we did get sponsorship from them.
They should,
so
man.
they do. But,
that's
but
love.
that doesn't mean that they fulfilled their promise that they were supposed to do when they first got here. Like, they had a list of requirements that they were supposed to fill when they got here. And it doesn't look like they filled
it doesn't look like they doing it.
So it's like you came here trying to support the city. You gave this whole mantra of like, oh, we're here for the Springfield. We're going to hire Springfield people.
Yeah.
The Springfield history's in the hotel. So you're making it real like, all right, we're going to feel like home. And now it's like, oh, you got sold? Like, you got it was.
Yeah, I know, bro. I read an article on that the other day
I was
when they were
confused.
talking about just MGM and pretty much their future. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go from here, man. But you know,
They changed the whole downtown. I'm like, you literally reconstructed part of downtown.
Yeah.
So now, if y'all don't stay, or y'all end up leaving, what's gonna be put there? Because y'all literally bought off businesses, like small businesses that were downtown.
Yeah.
They even lifted up businesses and moved them.
Yeah, they was like, we're gonna move you over here. We want this spot.
Like, yeah.
I remember I had a barber, my boy Killer. He was off of right off of Union Street, right off that corner. He was like, he's one of my last. This one had the high top phase a minute ago. You can tell. So he was like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, man. They might be coming over here trying to buy the spot up. You know what I mean? They come. That's when they start doing like the reconstruction, the meetings.
Yeah.
Western Mass Development Conference. Even that.
Yeah, I expect. I thought it was gonna be a lot more from it, but we'll see. We'll see what's to come,
Right.
man.
Honestly, that would have been dope to see like MGM hosting, the basketball tournament with all the, like coaches or basketball teams or. I don't know, even like Springfield Balls, whatever. Just get involved
They
somehow.
can get creative, man.
They're not, and it's like they wait for us to ask, and then they choose like, do we want to do it or not?
Yeah, I think the thing is like, it doesn't take much money to get creative or to support, especially when you're a big company like that.
Yeah.
Right,
Like, yo, let us get that. Oh, you got a hall? Let us get that. We'll figure it out what we're gonna do with it, but just let us get that. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Will Cuffey, because Will Cuffey's doing his own thing there and building his name within MGM. So shout out to him, man.
Yeah, Mulatto too. They got some good vibes.
Yep, for sure. All right, so let's get back to you, man. What's one of the what's one of your biggest failures in terms of like producing whatever lane you want to get into that you needed for you to kind of be successful in what you're doing right now? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if you have an example.
I do. I got one that came to mind. I'm trying to think of another one too.
Could be big.
I'll say this one. I'll say this one because it's a prime example. So this. So there was a client I had, and this is when I was doing flyers. I was just like getting better at flyers, and he came to me. He was a promoter. He was like, "Hey, I got flyers that I need about every single week. I can drop them to you and give you the bread. You know, just I'm gonna need you to just look out for me every single week. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So he's paying me the 50 up front, paying me the 50 up front. You know, we're going good. And then he's like, hey, I don't got it this time, but you know, I got you on the next one. We'll catch up. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, still doing the flyers, but then the payments aren't going through anymore. But he's like, oh, I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna cover it. Yo, to the point, I was so oblivious that it came to the point where I'm like, yo, all right, hold on. We're at like $500, $700 in debt right now. It was like, when you gonna pay me now, bro? What's going on? And he still was giving the same excuse. So I was like, okay. And when I tell you I cut that man off so fast, I cut him off. And from then on, I was like, I would never do anything without a deposit. I won't do anything without payment up front of some sort, because you're not going to sit here and waste $700 of my time,
Right.
because you don't want to pay.
Yeah.
But you want to still have these flyers for your party so you can get paid from the parties. I'm like,
That's crazy.
I'm like, wow, okay.
That hits home too. That hits home. With the Bitcoin Classic, yo, somebody gave me like damn near a blank check. You know what I mean? It wasn't a physical blank check, but it was like a, yo, I got you. Here's this, hold this.
Right.
And it's like, all right, yo, you good, you can enter. To this day, I still haven't got paid from him. You know what I'm saying? And then he hits me up randomly like, yo, I got you. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. And I'm like, yo, listen, like
at this point, you're like, just forget it.
At this point, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, my whole approach to like the Bitcoin Classic and whatever I have is the same thing. Like, all right, deposit first. Can't go off of their word.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You gotta get deposit. You gotta get that initial movement from them before you accept it.
Exactly.
What about you, George? Anything in terms of like?
Yeah, it always happens, yo. I'm a
Oh,
videographer.
you just had a post.
know
You
that
just had a
always
post
happen,
the
yo.
other day.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm a videographer,
Yeah,
yo.
you just had a post the other day that I like. What
Man,
was it?
listen.
What'd you say?
I probably got one you can relate to.
Somebody just give me my pay me up, pay my money.
Oh, yeah.
bro.
Oh, my God. Your
Yo,
people.
they never want to, like, they want the video,
Yeah.
But they don't
and then
want
you
to pay.
send it to them and like, oh yeah, this is how the video came out. No
Nothing.
response. But then they post the
Post it.
video. What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Posting it?
you gotta put like
With no response is crazy.
And then like people be like, oh, put a watermark.
you just
I'm
gotta
not
show. You
watermarking
gotta
my
share.
video.
You gotta share your FaceTime them and share your screen. That's
Yeah,
probably the way to
chill.
go.
And they gonna screen record that.
Yo, that'd be crazy if that happened.
Screen recording and screen share is crazy work. That's crazy work.
That's
Nah, but
insane.
like, and then I just take it all as like a learning experience too. I'd be like, oh well, chuck it
Yeah.
up to a loss.
But that also goes down to the clients that you're dealing with, because I have a plethora of clients that there's people who I send over an invoice and they paid in full, no problem, before I even show up.
Yeah.
I remember one time I told a client in Vegas, this was my first time I sold a $500 logo. And I was like, I charge $500. But this is after my boys telling me like the doubling method, because I was charging logos at $150 at first. But he was teaching me the value of like why you should charge more. He was like, I sold a logo for like $1,200 before. I'm like, $200 for a logo?
Yeah.
I'm like, people out here don't even want to pay $25 or $30. I'm like, how'd you sell it? But he's like, I pitched it. I got a brand kit where it explains what the business is, the separation of how to use the logo, what not to do with the logo, the meaning of the logo, if there's symbolism within the logo, what's the symbolism? Like with FedEx, they have an arrow right between the X. So it's like
between the X.
that small symbolism means something. It's like moving forward.
Wait, why you say FedEx? Why you say FedEx? I work for FedEx. That's why.
Oh, where? I didn't know that. Well, I'm your friend.
I'm joking.
He was like, yeah, I know. I work there. How you know?
That's the only way I knew, because
Oh, for real? Okay,
they
where-
talk about that arrow.
Okay, where?
That response is mad fast. He was like, yeah, I know.
I was like, where? I'm
That's
out here
funny.
into marketing. Cool. Word.
But nah, go back. Go
But
ahead.
yeah, so going back, so I'm telling her, I was like, you get the value of the brand kit, you get the mock-ups, I explained to you like why I use certain colors, why I use certain shapes and symbolisms, whatever. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, how much you charge? I'm like, it's $500, send an invoice. She was like, all right. When she sent
Right
it up front, 500. I was like, oh, okay. Then I'm dealing with clients where once I start getting over 4 digits,
Yeah.
where they're paying it up front, like, oh, how much to charge? Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, here's and I always do 50% deposit up front. I'm like, I need 50.
Yep.
Before I even move or work, I
Yep,
need 50.
yep.
And they paying it, and then the day of, they
But
pay
you're doing something extra than what the average person is doing. Like you're adding that, you're giving them extra assets. You're giving them a vision on their own logo that they probably didn't even know they
have.
needed or had.
That's
You know
a
what I
fact.
mean? So adding that extra stuff is huge, bro. That's major.
Yep, and then making sure you get the payments up front and change the clientele.
Yeah.
Because dealing with the clientele who don't want to pay up front,
Yeah.
or whether usually not to throw shade, but it's usually like either party promoters or club scenes or like low budget clients. Like those are the ones where it's like either don't pay up front or they can't pay up front,
Yeah.
or they're trying to lowball.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, they're late on the payment. There's so many times where I try to look out up front,
Yeah.
or I tell them my price. Like, I can give it to you day of, and then the day of comes and you finish working, and then they're like, all right, I'm gonna hit you right after, and then the next day comes, and then they finally hit you up after that, and it's like, I don't gotta deal with this on my other clients. Like, so why?
No cap.
Yeah.
But it's just knowing your realm of people that you deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel you. So early on in your creative journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about how you overcame fear. Like, if you finished something, did you ever feel like a fear of putting it out, or like people judging it a certain way? Like, and how did you get over that?
I don't know, because I'm my biggest critic when it comes to my work. Like, I'll literally finish a video and then watch it like 20 times after to see if there's like a part that I missed, or it's like a part that I could have did better.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just,
Past
I don't know. Yeah, it's just
Past
like,
that.
I don't know, because I think getting past it was just, I've always had a mindset of just moving forward, like just getting the job done.
Right.
I think I get that from my mom and my father. It's like, there's no excuse for you to do anything. Just make sure you get it done. My dad used to always say, be better than me. And my mom used to always say, set up for success.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going off of those two mantras, I'm like, I can't. And my mom, because my dad, he was around, but then he got locked up for 10 years.
Okay.
So I was mainly raised by my mom. He was active, he was around, but he would call, but it's like my mom was the one that was raising me. And my mom was raising 3 boys. And then it was like, yo, you can't. I remember one time my mom was like, oh, so I think it was cleaning the yard. And whether it was like leaves or picking up something, she was like, yo, I can do this, but you can't. When I told you, ever since that day, I never allowed her to do anything better than me around the house or whatever, ever again.
Great, yeah.
I was like, because it set a point. I'm just like, you know what? You're right, Mom. I was like, you're sitting here with 3 boys raising us, and we're men around this house, and you saying like, yo, I'm sitting there lacking, or I can't do
heavy
it.
lifting. Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, you're never doing any heavy lifting around me again.
That's major.
Never
That's
again.
major. I think my point was when I had my daughter, and you start noticing like certain things. Maybe she's afraid of doing this and this, and then you start telling her things, and it's like, damn, am I even following that? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she'll paint something, and then she'll put it in her room, like that's nice, Malia, and then she'll be like, I don't know, the heart was a little crooked, and I'm like, yo. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? Just, you did that. You drew that. Like, be proud of it. And then I used to kind of think back on, like, me and being critical on
your
either
work.
events or my work or whatever it is. And I'm like, damn, I'm telling her this and I'm not even following that. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of even led me to George and doing this.
Yeah.
You probably don't even realize that. Like, me just being behind the camera and talking and doing all, like, that's not me, but it's a way for me to kind of get out my comfort zone and get over those like little fears that you do have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I think motherfucker, I don't know if she's gonna say anything, but I think one of the fears that I think I've always had a fear of like not doing enough or feeling like what I was doing wasn't great enough because I'm putting out this work, but I'm not in a position where I'm supposed to be at,
Right.
or I'm not in like connecting with the people that I want to connect with.
Right.
So I don't know if it's like what's that term where it's like whereas like you feel like you're bigger than your environment, but your environment doesn't show you that. I think it's the imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're just like where I know I'm great, but then it's like a lot of times where I kind of deflect from that because I'm like,
Right.
I'm not where I'm at. Like I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or it's not being received the way I'm thinking it's supposed to be. And it's not. I don't do the work in hope that I get like the greatest reception because I'm like I'm gonna work no matter what.
Right.
I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna create what I want to create. I'm gonna work with who I want to work with.
Yeah.
And I've always lived by that. Honestly, one of the main things I live by is like the similar mottos to like high-end foreign cars, right?
Yeah.
So like Lamborghini or Ferraris, you don't see a Ferrari commercial. Like you don't see a Lamborghini commercial because you can talk to somebody, say the name, and be like, oh yeah, I know Lamborghini. Oh, that car costs this much. Oh yeah, I saw this color. Oh, they got this Audi. All this. So you know the value of it just by the name. And so I wanted people to like say my name or know my work or see my work and be like, oh, I know this Visionary Acts. Oh, I see that. Well, it's about to be some crazy quality. Like you see Lionsgate, you already know what's gonna come with Lionsgate.
Sorry, my fault.
No, you good.
I had to, whenever you park down here, they be on it. I had to pay my extra hour.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got ticketed like 3 times from being down here, so I had to make sure. My fault.
Yeah, now you good.
I'm listening though.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah.
Nah, I thought the same thing when I did stand-up comedy.
You
Like
doing stand up?
Yo,
Yeah.
I said the same thing.
I did it out in Boston. But like I thought I was really good. And then like I went to this one spot like I never went to before. It was like not my crowd and like I just bombed. Like I was making fun of like the other black guy in the building. I was like, yo, I'm the other black guy, blah blah blah. He didn't like that. I was just making mad jokes about like I remember I was joking about diabetes and like I think mad at people in the audience had like
diabetes
or something. I don't understand why. Like I was just doing it, throwing them out. And I was like, all right, I got this great advice once, like, just keep going if you're bombing. Man, listen, I went to the bathroom, called my mom. She was like, I told you it wasn't funny.
You should have kept going, though.
You should have kept going.
You got to do another one, though.
I feel like you could be a good.
I want to go back into comedy. I just have to find, like, all right, how can I really... Because, like, I think I could do sketch comedy. Like, sketch comedy, I could do that perfectly. Because, like, nobody's on the spot judging me.
Right, right.
And then, like, when I was doing stand-up comedy, but it was all, like, my people, my friends, like, everybody at my college.
Yeah.
Or, like, open mic that was, like, supposed to support people anyway. Like,
Right.
just fake laughs.
Exactly.
So you stopped after that?
Yeah,
You know he's
bro.
not that
You
bad.
gotta see
He-
that's-
right. Dave Chappelle even bombed.
Yeah,
everybody bombed at least
bombed,
once.
yo.
Not everybody's
Everybody
gonna
bombed.
receive
Bro,
you.
I hit a crazy, like, skirt. And was like, nah.
This
I'm
man
not
got
ready.
one bad crowd. Was like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's you got a stage right there.
I know.
Honestly,
Send
do your
send
little own-
flyers out.
Facts. Do your own little mini comedy shows.
That's all you need.
I can't. I don't know. I feel like I need some guidance or something.
To do
like,
what?
It's
What's
just
the
not
guidance? To
there.
do what? What do you need?
He don't need nothing. He just
I need to
gotta
be
do it.
motivated, yo. Because like after that, like I was going
So
out
it's
on
within
my
yourself.
own.
It's not like physical needs. It's like you.
Yeah,
need
it's me. It's me, and my mom actually, because you know she's the one that told me I wasn't funny. I was like, yeah.
You gotta prove it wrong, bro.
That was
Yeah,
the
bro.
craziest part, because like I'm like, all
Yeah,
right,
I
I'm
told
calling
you it
her for
wasn't funny.
support.
That's crazy.
That's funny. Though.
My heart
That's
is broken
funny
right
there.
now.
And you telling me I'm not funny?
That's your joke right there.
Right. He's like, my mom told me I'm not funny. Look at me now.
You're right.
All right, so to close out,
Oh, I got a good one. I got a good question for him.
oh
Okay.
yeah, he took it. He got it.
Yeah, you got
My
it.
fault.
No,
my
you
fault.
got it.
So, you can't be behind the camera creating any content for this event. It's your event.
Okay.
You can't do the videography, the short-term videography, the long-term videography, long form, sorry, or the photography. Who are you getting? Who are you reaching out to do those?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the main people. So I'll go by the main people.
Yeah,
that
look
I
at that camera and say it too. Just in case you miss somebody, they gonna see it.
Yeah, you see me on Wish. So I usually call my boy Chuck Crispo. I usually call him for photography.
Okay.
Brenton Perez, he was my road dog for a while for video. And
Gotcha.
I always called him as my secondary photographer. There's Tony Digital. He's nice. He did my deluxe events.
Okay.
So he's dope. Georgie's great at.
I was about to say, yo, this interview is not making it out if he doesn't say my name. I'm not gonna lie.
George, I'm calling George because he's like the style that I get from Georgie. He's like he's great at getting good vibes.
Yeah.
He's good at like great behind the scenes, capturing content.
So what category would you reach out to him for? The short form or the long form photography? What? Because you got the photography. You already got the photography.
Right. So video, I feel like it'll be like mid short.
Okay.
And then long, depending on the project, because George understands the concept of like long term recording,
Yeah.
Videography, like sound and everything. So I can hire him and be like, okay, cool. I know he'll get it, but for the most part, that we've been doing is more like mid short. For the most part.
Yeah.
But
That's
nah.
where it's at, yo.
Yeah, I mean,
Them videos be popping out, yo.
wait,
What?
we did pop word, and then who else?
For the long form. It's like recapping the whole event, adding some story to it, making, touching on emotions. Who you got?
Honestly, if I was to do long term, it would probably be only because I know his work, Brenton, because I think he's done long photography with me. Damn, actually I'm lying, because I've only used him for short.
For short form? Yeah.
Yeah, that only used for like mid short. Honestly, I think I usually do it myself.
I know. That's why I asked.
Right,
That's
so-
why I
so,
asked.
yeah,
So
I
I wanna
I'm not
see-
gonna lie. I
wanna
was thinking
see
the
who
same
else-
thing. I was like,
Because
who
you
would I
you
pick?
have a good vision, you have a good point of what's out there.
Yeah, I
because
think
you're
I-
in it. That's why I was like, all right, who else is? This question was just like,
Yeah.
who else is out there that you like? Damn, yo.
Yeah, I do, but I definitely do reach out because I can't do it all by myself.
I know.
But I understand it because if there's like a certain gig, I'll usually set it up. I'll get the second camera and just have someone operate. I'd be like, listen, I was like, this is the one shot that I need you just, I'm like, just look at the camera.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's recorded.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'll go do my shot where I'm like moving the camera, trying to follow the guy, and make
See,
sure the
better than
audio's
me.
set
I
up.
don't even do that.
Huh?
I don't even have nobody watching the camera. I'd be like, yo, let me just check in 2 or 3
Nah,
times.
I
Have that
used to do
wide
that.
and tight.
Yeah, I did. I remember one time I did that before. I was doing a Caribbean concert in Connecticut. It was for a St. Lucian artist. I think it was Teddy. Was his name Teddy Graham? Or it was like Teddy? But he had a popular song. It's still popular. I think it's called Ale. But that time I was like, yo, I got 2 cameras. I was able to get another one. I just had one stationed wide.
Yeah.
And then I had my camera where I was moving it. But at certain points, I'm like, all right, I gotta like stop to go check to make sure that's good.
Or
come all the way back and be like, all right, cool. Because sometimes I think at the time I was doing like the camera stopped at 30 minutes or like 29 minutes and like 50 seconds. So I would have a timer and I would have to go back, make sure it's recording again, and then go back to my camera and then keep doing what I'm doing. And then try to splice those little gaps out and try to have them overlap so there's no black marks in the video.
Yeah.
Or I got to cut that part out and try to blend it in. So
That's
was
how
a
I
lot.
did it in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got. So just to recap them again, because we're gonna clip this up and put out. So you said photography. Who?
Photography, Chucky Crespo.
Chucky Crespo.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him.
Short form.
Oh, wait, hold on. And I don't know. He gonna kill me if I say it. My mentor, Bernard,
Gotcha.
in photography.
Or
I'll usually call him first, but I'll call him for like high end stuff.
Gotcha.
Like I can't call no regular like birthday party because of him.
yeah,
'cause
he got to come out.
he's
He only coming out when he coming out.
Yeah, right. But but he's when I tell you like great photography, bro. I'm like to this day, I'm still trying to catch up to him. So great type. So Crespo and fan.
Short form videography.
Georgie, Britton,
Yeah.
me.
Got you. And then long form.
Actually, I'm gonna have to call my boy Greg because he does drones. So it's short but long because like his job doesn't necessarily require to be there long.
We had to get one.
I was like, yeah,
Come on,
I
brother.
couldn't let you go.
Yeah. But like, cause he's like my road dog with drones. Like he does my drones for all my series.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing a documentary or docu-series for Harvard School of Public Health. So he came to Boston with me and got like all the drone shots of the city of Boston, Dorchester, Roxbury. So when I need like long-term projects, I'm calling him. Or even short. Nah, he's like the full range.
He does it all. He does it all.
Yeah, when it comes to the drones, yeah, he does it all. Yeah.
That's dope, man. Hey, if you're watching this, if you need all of that, make sure you just tap in Darrius Johnson,
Yes, sir.
CEO, Visionary Acts, George, myself, Yusuf. We appreciate y'all listening, tuning in for this episode. And we're going to catch y'all with somebody else from Springfield that's doing big things, man. So
sir.
salute.